the spacious skies for amber waves of gray, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Oh, I see people have things to eat out here.
Close your eyes, close the door. You don't have to worry, no, anymore.
We're not doing a show today?
I'll be
Your baby tonight. Close
Shut
the
your
light, shut
eyes.
your eyes.
Shut the shade. You
Hope
don't
somebody
have
brought some
lemonade. I'll be your baby tonight.
No, you're her baby. not mine.
Well, that mockingbird's gonna sail away. We're gonna forget it. That big fat moon's gonna shine like a spoon, but we're gonna let it. You won't regret it. Kick your shoes off, honey. Do not fear. Just bring that bottle over here.
Somebody has red hair tonight.
Red hair tonight. Well, sun come up and it was blue and gold.
Oh, really?
Sun come up and it was blue and gold. Sun come up and it was blue and gold. Ever since I put your picture in a frame.
We just sound better the farther away from that piano we get. You notice that? Those people have been holding us back for years.
I'm gonna love you and I always will. I'm gonna love you and I always will. I'm gonna love you and I always will. Ever since I put your picture in a frame. I'm gonna love you till the wheels come off. Oh, yeah.
I see a man whose vest says security.
Security.
I see a man whose vest says security.
Security.
It's a yellow vest, it says security.
Security.
Is it security for him or for me?
Ooh.
got to sing one song with all these people here. They've come. Oh, I think we ought to sing these songs. So many people are standing. Oh, okay, we find the right key. Oh, say,
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors that star-spangled
mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Who's got the time? In the glory of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. With the glory in his bosom that transfigured you and me, as he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free. Our God is marching on. Everybody, acapella chorus here. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Oh, I still have 3.5 minutes in the beauty. Oh, we did the beauty of the lilies, right?
No.
We did not?
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh.
What's the second verse? Help me. Help an older person. What's that?
Seen him in the watchtowers. I've seen him in the watchfires.
I have seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have builded him an altar in the evening dews and damps.
I can read
his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. Our God is
marching on.
big chorus, big chorus, big chorus.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
He hath sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is
marching on.
One last chorus, I promise.
Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Drums, martial drums, Bernie, drums. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. That's our show. Thank you for coming. Good night, everybody. And wow, what a great day. What a great day in Chicago. The rain has been canceled. They canceled that storm. Too bad for those of you out on the lawn who, many of you did not take showers this morning, assuming that this would be taken care of later. So, anyway, we're glad to have you here. We have a good show for you today. Not that the others, were not good, but this is especially good, and you'll find out about that. In 5 seconds, we go on the air live. Isn't that a thought? Whoa. I hear that old piano from down the avenue. I smell the ivy, I look around for you. Oh, my sweet, sweet, sweet someone coming through the door. It's Saturday and the band is playing. Honey, could we ask for more? Whoa, whoa. Coming to you live from the Ravinia Festival out in Highland Park, Illinois, outside Chicago. It's a live broadcast of a Prairie Home Companion, presented by American Public Media and produced by Prairie Home Productions. Himself at the piano, Mr. Richard Dworsky, leading our fine band. Our beautiful band, some of them actually from the city of Chicago. Mr. Chris Siebold, a Chicagoan, on lead guitar. Back there on the bass, Mr. Larry Kohut. Mr. Bernie Dresel playing the drums tonight, and Mr. Richard Kriehn playing the mandolin and the fiddle. Our radio acting company is with us, Sue Scott and Tim Russell. Our sound effects man, Mr. Fred Newman. Tonight's show is brought to you by Viking River Cruises, exploring the world in comfort, offering European cruises on Viking longships. More at vrc.com/radio. And by Lumosity, brain training developed by scientists and game designers who turn cognitive research tasks and game designers who turn cognitive research and game designers who turn research tasks into impossible games. Learn more at Lumosity, lumosity.com. We have a good show for you today. We've been warming up this piano here so that when Jeremy Denk comes out to play Mozart and Bach, that's what you're going to hear. Jeremy Denk, great pianist, out making his way around our country. Here from her home in the rugged Catskill Mountains of upstate New York, Heather Masse is here to sing for you. And here down at the end of the band, taking a modest position, the future host of this show, mandolinist Mr. Chris Thile is with us tonight. Whoa, 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 ba-ba, ba-ba. We're going to Chicago to find out what is real, as opposed to what we imagine other people might feel. Oh, we find out not by reading, but by walking on our own 2 feet. Oh, through the loop and not in a group, but all alone down Division Street. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chicago! That's where we are, just outside town. Don't put ketchup on your hot dog. Don't use the phrase Chicagoland or the phrase the Windy City. Don't wear a Cubs cat unless you really are a fan. And don't wear a tie that says you are a lawyer. Take the L from the airport. And don't say cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. They've heard that joke before. Avoid the Sears Tower, stay on the ground. Meet the locals and go to a bar. Don't ask big questions, just hang around. Don't ask for artisan beer, PBR. Yes, it's a blue-collar city with a good heart. Chicago, and architecture is Chicago's art, which you can see for free. Just take a long walk, and always put mustard, not ketchup, but mustard, on your hot dog. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, it's a great city to walk around in. Great city, south side, west side, north side, wherever you go. Get out on your own 2 feet and walk around and listen to the people you meet, and that's how you find out about Chicago. It is so beautiful, Chicago, the west side, Augusta Street. 2 women with pink hair and pink slippers on their feet walk into a drugstore, Polska Apotek, full of wheelchairs, canes, walkers, pills for your aches and pains, Fannie Mae chocolates wrapped in gold that look to be about 50 years old. Next to the drugstore, Zimna Pivo on the tavern door, with signs for Old Milwaukee, Pabst, dusty bottles of cognac, peppermint schnapps, brandy and scotch, and posters for upcoming bands, Cheap Girls, Kitten Forever, Guantanamo Bay Watch. Next door, Stanley's Barber Shop, and 2 men with hair a person would see back in the Soviet era. One looks in the window at his reflection, sideburns, ducktail, spit curls, perfection. Next door, a deli, coleslaw and potato salad in big vats. 2 women, one old, one young, in paper hats. The 2 of them laughing at something the young woman told the old one in a foreign tongue. At St. Helen's Catholic Church, a sign for bingo and a bazaar. And a sign, what's missing in CH blank blank CH? You are. Jesus holds out his hands inside the double glass doors where he stands. young women in sandals laughing and walking down a side street, one in flowered short skirt dancing a little as she walks, the other in white lace. St. Volodymyr's Ukrainian Orthodox Cathedral on the corner of Oakland and Cortez. 100 years old this year, the sign says. Red brick, green copper spire, the doors open wide. A woman puts a yellow scarf over her head and goes inside. Birds singing in the trees, in the dappled shade. On porches of narrow brick houses, baskets of flowers arrayed. All along the street, the perfume of roses in the heat. Musica funeral home and a wedding dress store. In the hot dog shack, a bulletin board with handmade ads for things you can get, all described in the Cyrillic alphabet. On the corner, a little grocery with pickled eggs, pelmeni, salami. A law office giving new life through bankruptcy. A bakery with fresh baked rye bread and pastry. A girl behind the counter is having an angry discussion with a man in Russian, probably her dad. And she looks my way where I'm waiting to pay for a raspberry Bismarck. She's still saying something to him and waves away my idea of paying. So outside in the hot sun, I sit in the sacred atmosphere of the mosaic mural of St. Volodymyr, a sword in his hand, surrounded by an angel band, and the Blessed Virgin looking down on the crowd of people gathered round to be baptized, the devout. And I put the Bismarck in my mouth, and there in the gaze of Mary, I taste the sweetness of raspberry. And for a moment I am filled with grace, powdered sugar on my face, a child again, as I was so long ago. Again now in the asphalt archipelago, and the ghosts of my papa and mama go by here in Chicago.
In a sentimental mood, I can see the stars come through my room, while your loving attitude is like a flame that lights the gloom. On the wings of every kiss drifts a melody so strange and sweet. In this sentimental bliss, you make my paradise complete. Rose petals seem to fall, it's so like a dream to call you mine. My heart is a lighter thing since you made this night a thing divine. In the sentimental mood, I'm within a world so heavenly, for I never dreamt that you'd be loving sentimental me. never dreamt that you'd be loving sentimental. Sentimental me.
Well, it's been a quiet week in Lake Wobegon, Minnesota, my hometown. It's been hot there this weekend, gradually getting up into the 90s, which makes Scandinavians very short-tempered. As soon as it gets up around 75, they become very, very impatient when they're perspiring. There was a lot of shouting going on Main Street here the other day. Daryl Tollerer driving along Main Street, and here came Mr. Hoppy, and he came through that stoplight, and then he made a left turn right in front of Daryl, and Daryl leaned on his horn. He said, "What are you doing?" "Well, he's making a left turn. He's been doing that for 50 years. Everybody knows that's the way he comes, and he goes back. He predates that traffic light." Old man stood there blinking. That's all. He didn't know what was happening. Just turning left. That's all he was doing. So that's the town I live in. It's a town of habits, and one more habit here this last week. Yesterday, actually, Thursday was the last day of school, and they packed it up and they went home. And Friday was graduation. Temperature was in the 90s. 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon is when Mr. Halverson looks up at the sky, and he has to make the call, either indoors or outdoors. By 3 o'clock, he waited until 3:30. There seemed to be clouds in the sky, and there was a thunderstorm forecast, as there was for us today in Chicago, but he decided to keep it outdoors. He's made the wrong call a few times. There was the year, I think it was 2008, when the storm rolled in, and the commencement speaker was standing up in front of people and talking, as I am talking right now, and 100 graduates sat there watching the sky, wondering if it actually could rain on their own graduation. Yes, it can, and yes, it did, and a few drops started to come down, and the speaker kept on talking, and a teacher came up and held an umbrella over his head, and then the wind started to blow, and they got to see a man giving a speech, knowing that he ought to stop, and unable to, umbrella up over his head, and then the power went out, and so nobody could hear him at all. But he kept on talking, and then sheets of rain came down, and he talked a little bit more. People remember that graduation very, very clearly back in 2008. They don't remember a single word that he said, which is a lesson for all of us writers and intellectuals and so-called intellectuals. I spoke at graduation back in 1985 at Lake Wobegon, back when I was famous back then, and the show, believe it or not, was considered sort of edgy. I mean, it was kind of hip. Briefly, part of that spring and some of that summer of 1985, and so I gave a speech, and it was a good speech, but all that people remember of that speech is the limerick that I had written for the occasion. There once was a young high school grad, got a job, and he cried, "I'm so glad to be given this chance, I could pee in my pants," and they looked and they saw that he had. People were so appreciative of this limerick, and got such a warm reaction that day, 85, that I decided to go for the bonus shot, and I did. There was a Lake Wobegon fellow said, "Why is my urine bright yellow? Was it something I ate, or could it be Kate, who I dated on Saturday? Hello." And I said that one, and there was a shout from the crowd. It was like right back around there. It was back in the bleachers, and somebody yelled, "Daddy, Daddy." And this old man had collapsed, and they laid him out on the grass, and the ambulance came, and they gave him oxygen, and they put him up on a gurney, and they worked on him, but they were not rushing. You could see they were not hurrying. He was dead. He died right during that very vulgar limerick that I had recited of my own free will. And whenever I go back home, even now, all these years later, 31 years later, people look at me and I can see what they're thinking. They're thinking the last thing old man Swanson had on his mind was your joke about venereal disease. That's how he died. That was, if you'd said something beautiful or something profound or quoted something from scripture, but no, you did that terrible, terrible joke, and he died with his mind in the gutter. Thank goodness he was Lutheran, and they believed in sanctification by grace, but still. And they've never invited me back. I don't expect that they ever will invite me back. And meanwhile, here I am. I'm coming towards the end of my radio career, and I'm very aware that my radio audience out there is getting old and fragile, and many of them with heart problems, and so I just don't dare be that funny anymore. I think of the responsibility. Thousands of people listen to this show, literally, and many of them with bum tickers and liable for strokes and so on, and I don't want them to go out of this world on some stupid joke like, "Old age is a treacherous bridge. It occurs to the poor and the rich. You get up in the night and on comes the light and you find you have pissed in the fridge." I would not want to be responsible for that being somebody's last sentient moment on this earth. So this year's commencement speaker was not me. It was a man from my class, though, the class of 1960, and it was alarming how old he looked. He was just so fragile. He climbed 3 steps up onto the platform, and with every step he took, the audience held its breath. It looked like he was about to lose his balance and topple over, and he got to the top, and he sort of momentarily leaned off to one side, and somebody reached out to brace him, and he was all winded, and the problem is that you could tell, I mean, he's all tan. He lives in Florida. He's lived there for years, and he plays golf, and he runs these half marathons, and it's worn him out. It just has, physical exercise has worn him out. He's been working at keeping physically fit, and it just has ruined his body. Hiking over rough ground has torn his knee joints and his hip joints to pieces, and running tears your whole bone structure to pieces. People who sit in a chair and read a good book are very limber and very youthful. It's been shown time and time again. Writing at a computer is all the exercise that a person really actually needs. Anyway, he limped up to the podium to give his speech, and we saw 4 pages of it blow away in the wind, and that made everybody very, very happy. And so all of the part about daring to be yourself, and we learn from our mistakes and so on, that all blew away, and he skipped on to the next part about being prepared and being collaborative and the importance of good timing, which are qualities that are appreciated by many people, including the mafia. And he'd been gone from Lake Wobegon a long time, and he'd forgotten the tradition of the class joke. Every year there's something, and sometimes there are firecrackers that go off suddenly. And once they hooked up a little rubber hose to the front of the lectern, and Mr. Halverson was giving his speech, and suddenly somebody released the hose, and this large, dark, wet spot appeared right on the front of his pants, and he jumped back, and the lectern rolled off the stage with his speech on it. They'd released the brake on it, and this year we were waiting for something as he went on and he talked about personal responsibility, and we were waiting and hoping for the shoe to drop, and he droned on, and we were afraid that we have ruined these children by admiring them too much. Child worship. It was not part of the tradition back in the day, young people. We had the benefit of cruelty, the cruelty of our parents and our classmates, and it toughened us. But now you go to graduation parties the week before graduation, and there are these shrines to each child. Pictures of when they were small children, and little ugly things that they made in craft class, and all the rest of it. Child worship is now a part of our. Back in the day, we had one tiny picture about 2 by 3 in the yearbook, and each and every one of us in the class of 1960 looked like a convicted criminal because we were brought up with no self-esteem whatsoever. Don't think you are somebody was what they preached to us. So we didn't. And at graduation, they didn't say congratulations. Nobody said congratulations. They said, so you got a job for this summer? And you were supposed to say, yes, I'm going to be picking tomatoes and sweet corn for Mr. Peterson. And then I'm going to be working on a road crew and laying asphalt. And then towards the end of August, I'm going to be picking potatoes. That was the right answer for you to give. These kids today, they have this sense of entitlement. I mean, we have cherished them so much that they don't dare stand up to us and rebel against us. We were worried about this on Friday night. And then there was this big clap of thunder and lightning, this stroke of lightning. 100,000 volts, 500,000 volts lashing into the earth, and it struck a tree just up on the hill, just above the football field. And the speaker jumped back, and suddenly there was a dark, wet spot on the front of his pants. A spontaneous reaction. Lightning had hit that tree up on the hill, just right above the football field. And that's what we will always remember about graduation this year, and nothing that he said whatsoever. That's what we will remember. We will remember that any one of us could have been extinguished, pulverized, right at that moment. Right at that moment. All of us, everyone who was there. The rest of our lives is a gift. It's a pure gift. It could have ended, and it did not. Keep that in mind. That's the news from Lake Wobegon, where all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the children are above average. The soloist from Graduation, Mr. Jeremy Denk, the Pilgrim's Chorus, Onward, Onward.
Under the stars, there's a heaven waiting for me. Down in the valley so low, down where the hollow rolls. Under the moon, there's a meadow of green, and a rendezvous there in my dreams. I'll rest my eyes as the miles close between us. I can almost hear the cry of the whippoorwill. There's a place with our names there on the old willow tree, and a rendezvous there in my dream. There are fools who live and never realize it's a fool in love who finds his own paradise. Under the stars, there's a heaven waiting for me. Surely your love so right falls from the other side. Under the moon, there's a place where all my dreams come true, and a rendezvous there with you. There are fools who live and never realize it's the fool in love who finds his own paradise. Under the stars, there's a heaven waiting for me. Surely your love so right falls from the other side. Under the moon, there's a place where all my dreams come true, and a rendezvous. I will rendezvous. I will rendezvous there with you.
Heather Masse, Jeremy Denk. They'll be back do some more. The first half hour brought to you as always by Powder Milk Biscuits in the Big Blue Box, made from whole wheat that gives shy persons the strength to get up and do what needs to be done. family tried and powder milk? Has your family tried and powder milk? If your family's tried them all, you know you're satisfied and there's a real high and powder milk. I shall come to you from Ravinia, the Grand Old Park, just on the north suburbs here of the city of Chicago, where rain was forecast for today, about a 60% chance of rain, and that just goes to show you 40% is enough sometimes. For some of us, 20%. Some of us have gone for years on 15%. Mr. Chris Thile is with us here, who has written a piece of music, the title of which, Da, Da, Da,
Da, da, da.
makes me think maybe this was written about a small person?
It was indeed written about a particular small person, my son, Calvin.
I believe I saw this small person backstage in a dressing room
You did?
an hour ago.
You even played some hide and seek with him.
And he was clinging to his mother,
Yes.
Claire, and his father was encouraging him to walk.
Yes.
And I was saying, don't do it, kid. Don't unless you absolutely have to.
And
Hang on to that woman.
He seems to have mixed feelings about it himself.
Good.
Walking.
Good. Mixed feelings is what we want our children to have about everything.
And so he communicates largely with the word da.
Da.
Da, da, da. I gave you an update about his speaking 2 weeks ago. He's added words. So before it was just 3 words. He said dog, that, and dad, all of which he pronounces da.
Right.
Which, showcases an unbelievable economy of language, I feel.
Yes. That's
But
good.
but now he's added just about anything seems to be able to be da, 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 da. He'll point at things, da, 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 da. And his mother seems to understand what he's saying. I find it very difficult.
Right.
And so I've written this song.
Okay.
In which I'm attempting to figure out what he might be saying when he says da, 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 da.
We'll help you as best we can.
Thank you very much. So my voice will be playing the part of Calvin, my 1-year-old son, and the mandolin will be playing the part of Calvin's attempts to walk. By which I mean, won't you look at me? Daddy, I'm walking down the hall in my rubber-soled stockings. Got all of mama's Instagram talking. That is to say, I think I may need a little bit of help here sooner than later. Daddy, I'm falling. In a second, I'm gonna be ballin'. Oh dear, this is a fine reward for my bravery. What a treacherous force is gravity. I won't stand for it anymore, literally. Daddy, this kind of thing doesn't happen to me when I'm crawling with all the mama's Instagram following, cooing, oohing, and allowing. Thank you very much. And thank you, Calvin.
Mr. Chris Thile. Written for a little boy that should not be performed for that little boy more than a year or two from now. And certainly not when he's 14 or 15. Just a tip from another father. Our sound effects man, Mr. Fred Newman, is with us over here, looking good. Looking forward to his summer vacation. What is that hairspray you are using there? Wow, that's just really, really amazing. You've got the best hair of anybody in radio, really, just honestly. Is this it, this little can right here?
Keep it close to me.
Wow,
Sure.
wow,
Sure.
wow. That's really looking good, looking good. He's looking forward to his summer when he goes to his weekend house out there in Connecticut, where he can play golf at the Breakers Country Club there along the shore. You lost that ball out there, so I wouldn't try and wade out there for it. After 9 holes of golf, he likes to lie in his hammock. He has a waterbed hammock there in his yard, which Fred designed himself. It has a computer that sets up an invisible electronic fence that keeps dogs away. Yep, there. That's how that works. Yep, keeps neighbor children away as well.
Stay away from the hammock. Do not approach at great risk. Beware of the irate homeowner.
Uses laser beams to deflect the drops from a water sprinkler in the neighbor's yard. So he's got this all figured out. Spray does not touch the hammock, and there's a drone there, a drone that kills deer flies. There we go. See how that works? That's good. Fred's personal assistant, Leilani Monongahela, comes in with a bottle of white wine there. Opens that for him.
This is a 1997 Pinot Gris with a bouquet of avocado and viola and a long rustic finish of limestone and lime jello and limited liability.
Yes. Beautiful life there in Connecticut. A few miles away, of course, you've got your whole fox hunting crowd. Fred is not part of that. They're out there, all of these Ivy League graduates with their MBAs and
Another beverage, Jeffrey?
yes. And all that old money is out there, and their neurotic dogs, and their wives who are inevitably into medieval music, all of them. A sackbut, a 1492 sackbut, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's a sackbut, isn't it, Jeffrey?
Well, very nice. But on Fred's estate, it's very quiet there, because that's what a sound effects man wants. Because sound is irritating to him on his summer vacation. The least little sound can drive him crazy, just like that. Just.
Come on, no, I don't want that.
Good.
Good, all right, that's good. Or this sound here, this, the neighbor on the rider mower. Fred takes it into his own hands. Little breeze in the trees, that's all fine. Songbird or two, crickets, of course, he likes crickets. But not this mosquito. There you go. Fred hates mosquitoes. And the other thing that bothers him are animals in nature who don't know how to do their own sound. Like that.
Cut it out!
What's wrong?
Come on! That's not how it goes! Do it like this!
That's not how you bark. There you go, see? That's...
That's what I did. I just did that.
No, you did it the wrong way.
No, you
Sorry.
didn't. You do it like this.
There you go.
Not like... Okay?
Animals that grow up away from others of their species, they never learn to vocalize as animals of their species should. Like this woolly mammoth at the New Haven Zoo. There's only one. Because really, would you want to see woolly mammoths breed? I don't think you would. So, Fred, how should they bring in Fred to
Let me show you how it's done.
show
Here,
this
Are you vocalize like
mammoth?
I'll teach him.
Doing his best, doing his best. And how about this humpback whale? There's only one in the Connecticut Aquarium, because there's only room for one humpback whale, and it's a female, and it has no, it whinnies, that's not right.
No.
No.
You're a girl, you sing like this.
There you are. So that's what Fred does during the summer. He relaxes in his waterbed, swinging under the trees, and listening to that distant hoot owl.
You're not a crow, you're an owl.
Right.
Ooh. You. Do it right.
Show him. Got it?
Yeah. That's better. Good.
Good.
Yeah, there we go.
Mr. Fred Newman, our sound effects man. Mr. Richard Dworsky wrote that tune in honor of the old roller coaster they used to have out here at Ravinia. Let's come in here with a word from the Earl's School of Accents and from classical pianist, Mr. Jeremy Denk.
My name has always been a problem. Jeremy Denk. Sounds like a guy you hire to come and trim your shrubbery. Tree guy. There's just something gardener-like about me, I guess. People see me on the street and they say, "Do you know what I can do about aphids on my clematis?" It's affected my career. I've been trapped in rational, organized music like J.S. Bach. Or 20th century music. I have a passion for Franz Liszt. And of course, Chopin. But people didn't want romantic music from me until I took a 5-week course at Earl's School of Accents.
Yeah, that's right. Learning a new accent can be a major asset to your professional life. I mean, if you want a high-tech job, it will be to your advantage to sound a little bit like this. A job in fashion or cooking, this is how you want to present yourself. Yeah, and for a job in banking and finance, it can't hurt to be Swedish. But for the pianist Jaromir Dankovic, formerly known as Jeremy Denk.
I would now like to play for you a work I loved as a boy, growing up in Odessa. There was a bust of Tchaikovsky on the kitchen shelf beside a bowl of borscht. And whenever I played this tune, my mama always burst into tears.
Change your life, Earl's School of Accents. When Mozart was 3, he could play the clavier. At 5, he began to compose. At 10, already launched on his career, he began to worry about his hair and clothes. He wondered, is this the wig I should be wearing, or should I have gotten the brunette? Are these knee breeches baggy? Why is everyone staring? I wonder if they'll like my new quartet. Even a genius is full of doubts about his looks and whether the third movement should have been at a quicker rhythm. And though the audience stands and claps and shouts, bravo, he wonders who would like to go have a drink with him. He and his wife, Constanza, were not so astute when it came to money. No, not them. So after he'd finished writing the Magic Flute, he had to write the Requiem and many German dances to pay for their extravagances, the clothes and wine and gelati. He wrote the Exultate Jubilate. Thank you, Mozart, for being so prolific. And by the way, your hair looks terrific. Mr. Jeremy Denk, two movements from the Mozart Piano Sonata. Piano Sonata K. What was the K number? I forgot that. The catalog number. The Kirko number. K. People at home need to know these things. It's a beautiful piece, wasn't it? It's even hard even to fake singing. K number what? K. Staff, where's my research people? Where's the encyclopedia? K330. Thank you so much. Somebody back in the 10th row knew the answer to that question. Let's come in here with a word about a little movie coming up here this summer that I'm sure you're all going to want to see, coming soon to a theater near you. The House Guest.
We thought it would only be for a few days, but once he arrived, he just wouldn't leave.
The House Guest.
He was married to my sister, and now I know why she divorced him. I wish I could.
The House Guest.
Excuse me. I gotta get my shut-eye, okay? And let me tell you something, your house is like some kind of third world country or something, okay? Okay, and believe me, I'm putting up a wall outside my room so I can get some peace and quiet, okay? Okay. And I'll send you the bill, by the way, all right?
Okay.
Let's talk about dinner sometime, okay? Here, I need a really good steak, minimum 16 ounces, well done, instead of those loser salads you keep giving me. Okay, and the wine. Okay, I'm not big on wine. I'd like a double scotch, something like a 25-year Glenmorangie or something like that. Not a single malt, okay? That's like paint thinner, all right? I hate that. It's disgusting.
All right.
And I hate to bring this up again, but these sheets on the bed, they're real losers, okay? And so is the toilet in the guest bathroom. I mean, I can tell you, you really need to replace that thing. Something with a more powerful flush, okay? I'm tired of having to poke at it with that plunger, all right?
All right.
I'm used to having the very, very, very best toilet, believe me, very best. Mm-hmm. My toilet at home is unbelievable, okay? Whatever you do, and it can be huge, believe me, you flush and whoosh, it's gone, all right? Am I right?
All right.
Of course. And while I'm mentioning it, there's a really bad smell in my room, so I need a window fan too, okay? Otherwise, everything is fantastic. It's great.
When will he leave? Will we have to go to a hotel? How do we get rid of him?
The House Guest is here. Deal with it. Only one way to end this half hour. Let's bring out the flags. Let's bring out the baton twirlers.
March shall note and triumph float and liberty extend its mighty hand. The flag appears mid thunderous cheers, the banner of the western land. The emblem of the brave and true, its folds protects no tyrant crew. The red and white and starry blue, its freedom shield and hope. Other nations may deem their flags the best and cheer them with full elation. But the flag of the North and South and West is the flag of flags and flag of freedom's nation. Hurrah for the flag of the free. May it wave as our standard forever, the gem of the land and the sea, the banner of the right. Let despots remember the day when our fathers with mighty endeavor proclaimed as they marched to the fray that by their might and by their right it waits forever. The free, may it wave
Congrats forever. John Philip Sousa, what a great piece of music. Chris Thile there, Heather Masse. We're going to pause now and take a brief intermission and give our friends, especially those out on the lawn, a chance to wander around and see who else is here and go see A Man About a Dog, and we'll be back with the second hour of our show. You're listening to a Prairie Home Companion coming to you live from the Ravinia Park, just north of Chicago. Welcome back to the second half of our broadcast. Prairie Home Companion coming to you on a beautiful day from Ravinia, the music park just north of Chicago. Hello to Commander Tom Carroll, U.S. Navy, stationed in Okinawa, from Mike and Emily. And Jackson May, congratulations, being awarded the game ball with the Hawks Youth Baseball. Robin celebrating 34th anniversary with Jonathan. Greetings to my brother Gio, who was at the poverty workshop at college today. Oh, Ruby, graduating from Wilmot School in the 5th grade, going off to the 6th grade. Hello to John and Katie in Seattle. Wish you were here. Big birthday shout out to Scott Laux, 54 years young today, who's here in the audience. Happy 87th birthday to Glenn Dean. Hello to Carol, Dino, and Leo in Mauston, Wisconsin, from Susan, Mike, and from Tom. Hello and welcome home to Dear college junior, Connor, coming home for the summer. You got a job, Connor? Do you have a job? Got something lined up? I hope so. Happy 100th birthday to Grandpa Lee up from the North Woods. And hello to his older wife, Grandma Perk. And welcome to Dennis and to Cheryl Verville, who won a trip to the show from WBEZ. Happy 65th birthday to Mark Hellner from his wife Tracy and son David. Happy birthday to Aunt Betty listening up at the river this weekend. Sue Pick, 29 years old. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Angus in the box office. And congratulations on your retirement this year from Ravinia. A warm birthday to Des and the Danzies Pass crew on the South Island of New Zealand. Love you, miss you. Congratulations, Libby, you're going to be a grandma. Wow, Ed and Katie. Big news, exclusive on our show. Hello to Shelley Martin. Thanks for being such a wonderful mom. Love from your son, Bob. Hello to our neighbor, Pete, from Karina and Joel in Sylvania, Ohio. Happy anniversary, Bruce and Sharon and John and Olivia, Roxanne and Philip and Bob and Mona and so on and so forth. And whoa, I'd like to read that, but some people just did not learn good handwriting. Do you know what I mean? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, here's to the children who grew up too soon, who all graduated one Sunday in June. Lindsay and Megan and Kevin and Sean, we gave them their presents and bang, they were gone. We're sorry for all the dumb things we did. We meant well and we love you, kid. And as we drive home, your old mother and I will think of you fondly and maybe we'll cry. But after an hour, we've run out of tears and we'll look ahead to our post-parent years when we'll spend our inheritance to the last dime, having ourselves a remarkable time. We'll be lovers once more, not cops and chauffeurs. We'll enjoy all the foods to which you were averse, oysters and artichokes and steak tartare as we listen to Jerry Garcia's guitar. We'll throw all our parenting books away. Farewell to Boy Scouts and the PTA. No more church youth groups, thank God, amen. And we'll never watch field hockey ever again. So good luck to you, kid, on your big day. Hope to see you this fall, but if not, okay. Here's $100 toward rent and gas. Now we're off to Paris, flying first class. They look to us for advice. Heather Masse, they look to us, young people look to us, wondering what can we possibly do to be as cool and as hip as those middle-aged people there on stage. Here's how. Here's a song for you. Listen to this now. Take those things out of your ears. Listen to this. Come all you young class of 2016 and stay out of farming, corn and soybeans. Farming is dangerous and they don't need ya. And the big money now is in social media. Oh, it's mighty hard labor out in the field, in a loud tractor behind the windshield. It's hard on your back, there is no AC, and the little towns have no massage therapy.
Oh, farming is hard, not attractive to ladies, and farmers' hairstyles so terribly 80s. It's true that cool young women, all they have learned, not to date men whose necks are sunburned. Oh, it's mighty hard labor, raising beef cattle. Pigs are no picnic, a constant battle.
Chickens are stupid, they have no IQ. And sheep will make a fool out of you.
Oh, you don't get to work with your pajamas on. Not like at Google, Facebook, and Amazon. There's no gourmet dining, no haute couture. Just the wind and the dust and the smell of manure. Come all you graduates, young and so fine, find you a job doing something online. And you can eat all the fine food that they grow all winter long down in Mexico. And that's why we cannot build a big wall along the border. It won't work at all. It'll mean you and I will work hard all summer, raising sweet corn, strawberries, cucumbers. There's no harder work than picking potatoes. Our children will grow up to silently hate us, and we will be filled with terrible guilt. And that's why the wall must never be built. Farming is hard on your back and it's tedious. All the good jobs are in social media. Don't work hard. Don't work hard. That's the whole point of that song. I hope you got that. Oh, Heather Masse, how are you doing these days?
I'm good.
You sound so great.
Oh, thank you.
Sound so great.
You too.
You just sound better and better, ever and ever, all the time, forever, in every way, every day.
Sheesh. Thank you.
This is your song.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, well, I think we're going to do it as a duet, right?
Oh, are we going to do a duet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. There's one more good reason for retirement.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, sitting on your patio with a glass of wine, you feel no creepy crawliness, and that's a very good sign that you do not have Lyme's disease in the good old summertime.
Didn't she say she was going to be home by 9 o'clock?
Well, yeah,
No?
that's when the movie ended, right?
Well, oh, who'd she go with?
Oh, didn't you talk to him?
Well, briefly, yeah, I just saw him.
Well, was it Dennis? David?
No, I think it was Brian.
Are you serious?
No, yeah, Brian.
She went with Brian?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I
Who
hope
is
it's.
he, anyway?
Oh, I really hope it's not the Brian who had the DWI.
See the one with the spiderweb tattoo on his neck, or what?
Oh man, that's him.
Oh my gosh.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, they just found a virus transmitted by felines. It starts with feelings of fatigue and then a sharp decline. There is no treatment and you're gone in about one summertime.
How do you feel? You look a little pale.
Oh, I'm tired.
You're tired, eh? Me too.
Yeah, the contractor came today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came to look at the leaks around the windows.
What, we need to replace the windows, or what?
No, it's not the windows. It's the roof. It's leaking down into the walls.
Well, which wall?
All of them.
No.
There's a deadly fungus growing.
What can we do?
They have to tear the house down and burn it.
Really?
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, I just read an article posted there online. It said that global warming on Antarctica's coastline means that in 100 years it will always be summertime.
Oh gosh, it's just nothing but bad news. What do we do? Deadly fungus, global warming, what, Lyme disease? Plus we got the Brian problem? What?
Yeah, I don't know. All we can do is just try to stay positive and enjoy life as best we can.
Okay, yeah, of course you're right, yes.
Yeah.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime, sitting on the patio in the bright sunshine, it may cause skin cancer if you live to 69. So we'll just take it day by day in the good old summertime.
Thank you, Heather, Thank you. Oh, Mr. Jeremy Denk, the Mozart was just great. Just fabulous, and the Wagner, I've never heard Wagner played in quite that way before. The astonishing thing to me about your resume is not all the awards, you know, the recordings, the orchestras, the famous names and all of that. I mean, of course, why not? But Oberlin College, a double major, music and chemistry. What was going on right there?
I'm not sure what was going on. I know that my father and I, we grew up in New Mexico, and my dad and I did a high school science project where we fermented cactus in the kitchen, and we made booze out of it. So I had a positive feeling about chemistry from that age. Mom didn't like it so much because the kitchen smelled like the cactus for a while.
This opens up a whole new line of inquiry, Mr. Denk. Your father teaching you to make booze. How old were you?
16, maybe.
I believe
15.
there are laws against this.
They're well,
down
maybe,
in New Mexico. So how was chemistry for you? It was good?
You know, it's complicated. I don't want to offend my former professors. Right?
No.
You know, after a couple of years of chemistry in college, I knew it wasn't for me.
No, okay, all right. Well, if it's any consolation to you, Jeremy, you do not smell like a chemistry major at all. You just smell like a regular person to sit down and play music of Bach. I happen to have written a poem, with your leave. I was raised in Iowa, went to Wartburg, German, I'm proud to say, 30 years a member of Zion Lutheran in the 4th pew every Sunday. Always sit in the back of the church, always in the same pew. I like the folks who sit back there, they're all German too. We're modest people, and we never make a fuss, and it sure would be a better world if they were all as modest as us. Episcopalians are proud of their faith. You ought to hear them talk. Who they got? They got Henry VIII, and we got J.S. Bach. Henry VIII would marry a woman, and then her head would drop. J.S. Bach had 23 kids because his organ had no stop. I was raised to keep a lid on it. Guard what you say or do. A mighty fortress is our God, so he must be Lutheran too. What you gonna play? Mr. Jeremy Denk from Johann Sebastian Bach, English Suite in G.
I hear a bird chirping up in the sky. I like to be free like that, spreading my wings so high. I see the river flowing, water running by. I like to be that river, see what I might find. I feel the window blowing, slowly changing time. I like to be that wind that swirl and shake the sky. I smell the flowers blooming, opening for the spring. I like to be those flowers open to everything. The seasons change, the leaves, the snow, and the sun. I like to be those seasons made up and undone. I taste the living earth, the seeds that grow within. I like to be that earth, a home where life begins. I see the moon arise and reaching into night. I like to be the moon, knowing glowing light. I know the silence says the world begins to wake. I like to be that silence as the morning breaks. I hear a bird chirping up in the sky. I like to be free like that, spread my wings so high. I smell the flowers blooming, opening for the spring. I like to be those flowers open to everything.
Thank you.
Oh, it's the month of June, the month of June. Month when so many people I've known over the years, they relaxed after a long winter of caution. And they made big decisions that turned out to be completely wrong. June was when they got into trouble. It's where I got into the radio business, was in the month of June. I was living in Minnesota. I was in my hometown. I was living among these very, very taciturn people.
Oh, yeah. Quite the deal there.
Mm-hmm. What's quite the deal?
Huh? Well, what you were just saying there.
Oh, I haven't said a word in the past 2 hours.
You haven't?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I did the early morning livestock report on radio station WLT, and I saved up money to go to Chicago, get into radio big time, and I was picking up some extra cash. I was playing poker with dairy farmers at the sidetrack tap. And,
All right. Okay, 2 up, 2 down, 1 in the pocket. There you go. Read them and weep, boys. Okay, dealer goes.
Thank you.
I call man in the hall.
All right.
And 1 for your mother. Wieners.
Okay.
Okay, buddy.
I call.
right.
Oh, okay, one more behind the door.
All right, there you go.
And one in the oven. Uh-huh. And Gopher's in the woodpile, okay?
Oh, no, I'm out.
I'm out. Oh,
Okay, well, pot's mine then. Thank you, boys. Thank you. I raked in the dough night after night, and one night I saw her looking at me. I'd never seen her before. She's a tall woman, cigarette dangling from her lower lip. And she was not from Lake Wobegon. You could tell by the way she exhaled. She learned that from movies. It's not how we exhaled around Lake Wobegon then.
Care for a smoke, mister?
Well, I wouldn't say no to that, huh?
Is that
Especially
your
a cigarette that you've put a little lipstick on there, sweetheart, huh?
Well,
Thank you.
is that your Buick out there in the alley, 57? The two-tone gray and gold with the white wall tires and the spokes? The Buick with the Dynaflow transmission?
Man, I love to hear you say Dynaflow. Sounds like my car, yep.
You know, I never rode in a Buick with Dynaflow before. I hear they're really smooth, shifting up through the gears.
Oh, yeah. You heard right, ma'am. I'd like to show you sometime.
Well, they say that an automatic transmission, they've got real power and pickup.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah, depending on what you mean by pickup.
And I see you got leather seats too, and a stereophonic radio.
Yep, all that and a whole lot more.
Oh, you wouldn't by any chance happen to be driving down to Chicago, would you?
You know, purely by chance, I was thinking of that very thing about 5 minutes ago. It's a nice drive down there, you know. About 6 hours. I could probably make it in 5 if I needed to. You got friends down there in Chicago?
Oh, you know I've got friends wherever I go, mister.
I don't doubt that.
It's just my personality.
Yeah, personality would be one word for it. Weiler's the name, Carson Weiler.
I'm Francine. Francine Dubois.
Oh, yeah?
With the emphasis on the bois.
The bois.
Yes.
I'll keep that in mind, Francine. You need to stop and pick up anything on our way out of town here, Francine? Yeah?
Oh, no. Everything I need I've got right here.
Boy, I would say the same. Oh, yeah. So we got out of town and through Minneapolis, and we were crossing that Wisconsin line when she reached down and turned on my stereophonic radio.
Well, it's here, the month of June, July. We'll be here soon with August on the way across the USA. I know I'll see you there one day without a care, and we'll sit down one sweet day, have it made in the shade, you and me, like it ought to be.
You like this kind of music, huh?
Oh, yeah, I do. I heard you play it on the radio once.
Oh, wow. You listened to my livestock report, huh?
Oh, I did. I loved it. And when you did the hog prices, canners and cutters, barrows and gilts, sows and boars.
Whoa. As she said it, she slid over next to me and she put her hand on my knee, and that was when the engine started overheating. We stopped at a garage.
Oh, yeah, you're going to need a new water pump there. That's going to cost you $15.
That's fine. Here's a 5-spot for you, sir. Just make it snappy, okay? Across the highway, there was a club called the Moonlight Ballroom. So we crossed over.
You care to dance?
For the right person, I think I might be able to, yeah.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
So, we assumed the position, and we danced real close, real slow.
May you grow up to be beautiful, very rich and slim. May God give you everything you want, though you believe in him. May you ever be successful as you follow your own drum. May you stay forever dumb, forever dumb, oh, forever dumb. May you stick your finger in the pie and always find the plum.
Boy,
You
you're
know,
a good dancer.
you can always tell from the way a man dances whether he's someone who'd be good to know for a long time or just for a short time.
You're kind of young to know what a long time means, aren't you?
Well, I've got my ideas.
We drove south through Wisconsin, and she lay her head on my lap and slept all the way through. And I decided right then and there that when she woke up, I'd ask her to marry me. And we'd go to City Hall in Chicago. We get a license, we get married, we go to the Drake for breakfast, and we go up to the wedding suite. And I'd sell my car and buy a bedroom suite and rent an apartment on the west side. I'd find a job bartending, and I'd run a poker game after hours. And in a year, we'd have a baby and buy a house in Highland Park. I had it all planned out, every bit of it, yeah.
In the basement of our house, full of laundry machines, full of cases of Bordeaux, and lots of laundry, I will spend my life fixing all that's come undone, pound the nails and paint the walls and close the cracks and leaks. When there is no cash to pay, we'll go into debt.
Oh, hey, where are we?
Huh? What? We're on the north side of Chicago, babes.
Oh my God.
What? What's
I
wrong?
fell asleep.
It's okay, you're with me.
No, I forgot my perfume.
What?
I left it in the ladies' room at the sidetrack.
So what? I'll buy you a new bottle.
No, it's my Prairie Nights perfume.
What?
I can't do without it. We've got to go back. Please,
come
turn
on.
around.
Come on. Darling, listen,
Please.
I love you. I would fly you to the moon, but I'm not gonna turn around and drive back to Minnesota for perfume. I mean, it's against my principles.
All right. Then let me off right here.
What?
I'm crazy about you, but I could never live with a man who wouldn't go against his principles as a favor to a lady.
Sweetheart. I knew I was wrong. I knew I should say yes. I could hear a bullfrog in the ditch.
Go back and get it. Go back and get it. Go back and get it. Go back and get it.
She got out of the car. She walked away down the highway. She stood out there on the shoulder with her thumb out. Come on, Francine, come on back here.
That Prairie Nights perfume is who I am, Carson. It's so sweet and mysterious. I can't be me without it.
Oh, come on, I'll get a job in radio, Francine. I'll buy you a French perfume. I'll buy you some Channel number 5.
No, I do not want some Chanel number 5 or number 6 or number 7. I've got to have what I've got to have.
I didn't say Chanel, I said Channel, okay? It's much better. And then I saw the semi coming, and he put on his high beams, and he hit his brakes, and he stopped, he opened his door, and she got up into his cab, and I swung my car out in front of him, pulled up in front of him, and I blocked his way there.
Hey, move it!
I'm taking her back to Minnesota, bud. Let her go. Thank you. All right. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, babes.
I knew you wouldn't let go of me.
You wouldn't have gone with him?
Of course not.
You sure? I want
Yes.
to believe you.
Then do.
And I did. So we headed back to Minnesota. I found a job at WLT, Studio in the Oats, WLT with lettuce and tomato. And I don't know if it was the right thing or not, but you know, if you need to know for sure if it was right or not, you're going to have a hard time falling in love, people. It's just how it is.
Oh, my love, my darling, I love that prairie nights on your wrists, your neck, your elbow, and just behind your ears, so sweet.
You ever hear from that truck driver? Huh?
What truck driver?
You know, the one down in Chicago.
I don't know any truck drivers in Chicago.
Come on, come on. That night you made me turn around and come back for the perfume.
I don't remember that.
How could you not remember that?
Oh, when was it?
It's in June.
Really?
It's in June.
It's here, the month of June, July. We'll be here soon with August on the way across the USA. I know I'll see you there one day without a care, and we'll sit down one sweet day, have it made in the shade, you and me, like it ought to be.
I don't know if you can feel it out there in Radio Land. It's rather warm here in Ravinia today. And I can look out, I see people's foreheads glistening with sweat. I see fans waving back and forth. And these are the people in the shade. I can't see the people on the lawn who've been in the hot sun. This next song is for y'all. Maybe a little bit of escapism here in the form of a Kevin Barnes song called The Wraith Pinned to the Mist and Other Games.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3,
Feels cold in here. Polar waters. Let's have bizarre celebrations. Let's forget who forget what, forget where. We'll have bizarre celebrations. I'll play the Salter and Cypress. You're the bride being stripped bare. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's have bizarre celebrations. Let's forget when, forget what, forget how. We'll have bizarre celebrations. We'll play Tristan and Isolde, but make sure I see white sails. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Maybe I'll never die, I'll just keep
growing younger with you, and you grow younger too. Now it seems too lovely to be true, but I know the best things always do.
Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Oh, let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. Let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica.
Mr. Jeremy Denk. Beethoven fits right in here, just naturally as could be. I was thinking about Beethoven through that whole piece there. What was the first Beethoven piece you ever played as a child? North Carolina?
I don't remember exactly.
You don't remember?
Probably a little minuet or something.
For Elise, no?
Probably one of the kids' sonatas, you know, the easy ones.
This came later?
This came, I don't know where this came. It was some lady mandolinist that he had a crush on.
Are you having the same memory problems I'm having?
Maybe.
When did you add a mandolin to the piece? Beethoven liked a mandolin, did he not?
I don't know Beethoven's relationship with the mandolin,
no,
I'll
did.
admit.
He loved the mandolin. Anyway, take my word for it. This is his sonatina for piano and mandolin. Mr. Jeremy Denk and Chris Thile, Beethoven Sonatina, piano, and and that small stringed instrument there as well. Oh my gosh, time has gotten away from us. Thank you so much for coming out here in the heat here in Ravinia, the Ravinia Festival here in Highland Park, Illinois. Our producer, technical director over there, behind the big board, Sam Hudson. Our director is Dan Rawls. The show is written by Sarah Bellum, and our broadcast transmission engineer is Thomas Scheutzker. Stage managers Albert Webster, Tom Campbell, and our lighting designer Ken Evans. The house sound engineer out in the house is Tony Axtell. Our music librarians Maddie Calhoun and Catherine Slesher. Managing director is Kate Gustafson. Our script supervisor Ella Smith, and our marketing director David O'Neill. Our researchers Olivia Pelham and Holly Harden. The web and video guy is Ben Miller, and our tour wrangler is Deborah Beck. Thanks to the Ravinia Festival for bringing us back here tonight. We had a good time with all of you and bringing us back every year since 2004. This is our 12th year here. A special thanks to all of our listeners on WBEZ FM. Mr. Rich Dworsky here, our music director at the piano. Mr. Chris Siebold playing guitar tonight. Does not have far to go home. Mr. Larry Kohut back there on the bass. Richard Kriehn over there on the mandolin and the fiddle, and Mr. Bernie Dresel playing the drums tonight. Thank you so much, Jeremy Denk, for joining us. Beethoven, Mozart, and Bach on our show tonight. Mr. Chris Thile, thank you for those songs. And Heather Masse, so wonderful to be with you. So sweet to sing duets with you, kid.
Sweet is the melody, so hard to come by. It's so hard to make every note bend just right. You lay down the hours and leave not one trace, but a tune for the dancing is there in its place. We came to Ravinia here in Chicago, home of the symphony, opera, and dance, where old married couples sit in the pavilion, but out on the grass if they're deep in romance. They sit on the hillside with egg salad sandwiches, some with coolers of white wine and beer. If they're from Wisconsin, bottles of French wine, cheap wine with screw-off caps if they're from here. Thanks to Chris Thile for playing his mandolin, Jeremy Denk for the Mozart and Bach, and Heather Masse for singing so beautifully, and for Fred Newman for doing the sweet is the melody, so hard to come by. It's so hard to make every note bend just right. You lay down the hours and leave not one trace, but a tune for the dancing is there in its place.
A duet, two Chicagoans. A Spanish Chicagoan. A romantic bass player, if there is such a thing.
Sweet is the melody, so hard to come by. It's so hard to make every note bend just right. You lay down the hours and leave not one trace, but a tune for the dancing is there in
Thank you again, Jeremy Denk. Thank you, Chris Thile, Mr. Fred Newman, Sue Scott, Mr. Tim Russell, and our acting company, Richard Kriehn back here. Thank you, Heather Masse. Have a wonderful summer, everybody. Good night now. Well, she was just 17.
If you know what I mean. And the way she looked was way beyond compare. I wouldn't dance with another. When I saw her standing there. Well, she looked at me, and I could see that the world belonged. I fall in love with her. I couldn't dance with another. When I saw her standing there. Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in my ear. We danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long I fell in love with her. I'll never dance with another. When I saw her standing there. No, I'll never dance with another. When I saw her standing there.
Oh, when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as
The sun.
Oh, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Good Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Oh, merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. see Mr. Richard Kriehn on the fiddle. Mr. Chris Siebold here on guitar. Mr. Bass Larry Kohut. Mr. Bernie Dresel on the drums. Mr. Richard Dworsky at the piano here. Mr. Chris Thile playing mandolin tonight. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Let's go down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mother, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down, down to the river to pray. Go down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Mothers, oh mothers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh mother, let's go down, down to the river to pray. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing the song and bring the sunny weather. Happy tries to you till we meet again. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Amen. 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 Amen.
Bye.